Welcome to the lair of the Batty Boffin.
Hi there Batty fans, time for a little bit more multiplying with the Batty Boffin. Now in earlier videos we've looked at this grid method here for doing difficult multiplyings. If we have something like 342 times by 27, I don't know about you, but I don't know my 342 times table, nor do I know my 27 times table. So what we did in the grid method, if you remember, we split things up. Posh word, we partitioned them into their bits and bobs. So instead of doing 27, we did 20 and we did 7. Instead of doing 342, we did the 300 and the 40 and the 2, all separately. Please note in here, I've written the 300 as 300. It's important to keep those zeros, otherwise we tend to mush up all the different places and it gets very confusing. So let's just have a quick recap through this here, and then I'm going to show a slightly shorter way of making the maths a little bit easier so there's a bit less work to do. So this rectangle here is 342 wide and it's 27 high, and I've just split it up into its bits. And I haven't done this anything like to scale because you don't have to, and it makes it easy to draw. Frankly, 300 wide would be very wide. So what we're going to do is we're going to say that 342 times by 27 is equal to all these 6 little blocks added together, and the 6 little blocks are all easier. So I'm going to start off with the easiest ones. We've got this block here is 2 wide and 7 high. So that one's 2 times 7. That one has an area of 14. Okay, 2 wide and 7 high. This block here is 2 wide and 20 high. So that's 2 times 20, which is 40. Okay, I'm going to do the big one over here, I think, and then I'm going to leave you to fill in the rest. This one here is 300 wide and 20 high. Now that's a little bit more tricky, but if you remember what we can do on these, when we've got loads of noughts, is basically forget all the noughts and then put them back in again. That 300 is a 3 with 2 extra noughts on the end. That means a 3 times by 10 times by 10. Every time you times by 10 you stick a nought on the end. So that's a 3 with 2 extra noughts, and that's a 2 with an extra nought. So 3 times 2 is 6. 30 times 2 would be 60. 300 times 2 would be 6,000. And 300 times 20, sorry, 600 on that one, is that one's 6,000. So what we did the 3 times the 2, which is the 6, and then we put on 2 extra noughts for the 300 and another extra nought for the 20. Okay, so your turn now. Pause the video and fill in these 3, please. Right, we should have these answers. 20 times 40, well, we do a 2 times 4, so 20 times 40. 2 times 4 is 8, with an extra nought because it was 40 and an extra nought because it was 20. 800. Down here we have a 7 times 300. 7 times 300. 7 threes are 21, with a couple of extra noughts on it. And here 7 times 40. I hope you know your 7 times table. 7 fours are 28, with an extra nought. Now, normally at this point in time, we would add up the 6,000, the 800, the 40, the 2,100, the 280 and the 14, okay? Which is quite a lot of adding up to do. And the place where grid method goes wrong is usually because people add them up and they get the columns all wacky. So something that some people like to do that helps is actually to add up some of the rows just to start off with. And the reason for that is that it's quite easy because there's a lot of zeros in there. So 6,000 plus 800 plus 40 is amazingly 6,840. Yep, you see how that works? It was dead easy because everything's just a load of zeros in there, and that very often happens. Now this one not quite so easy because we've got a little bit of overlap, but it's not so bad. 2,100 plus another 280, so that's 2,380. I'm just going to write it here. 2100, 280 and 14. You see that 2 and that 1 are in the same column. So that's 2,380. Plus you've got another 10 there. So that's 2,394. If you're not happy with doing that, you can just add them up column here. So there's a 4, there's a 9, there's a 3, and there's a 2. 2,394. And now we've only actually got 2 things to add up. And very nicely, they're arranged in column addition. So 4 there. 4 and 9, that's 13, 3 down and carry the 1, 8 and 3 plus that 1 there makes a 12, 2 down and carry the 1, 6 and 2, that's 8 and another 9 there. 9,234. Okay, quite a big multiplication there. I'll just recap what we did. We partitioned as normal, 342, 27. We wrote in the bits for the individual rectangles there. And then instead of adding up 6 numbers all at once, we made use of the fact that a lot of these are very easy. 6,000 plus 800 plus 40 is 6,840. This wasn't quite so easy, but not far off. Okay, and then we've only actually got 2 things to add up down there. Okay, so that kind of simplifies it, reduces the amount of maths you've got to do a little bit. So, time to go and get a custard cream or something while I wipe down the board, and I'll give you some to do in a minute. So here are some for you to try. We've got 528 partitioned into 500, 20 and 8 times by 42 partitioned into 40 and even 3. That might be a 3, not a 2 there. 43. So you fill these in. Watch out when you do this one to make sure you get the right number of zeros, because 5 times 4 is 20, which already has a 0 on the end. You need to add another 0 for that and 2 more zeros. So make sure you get the right number of zeros on that. And then down here, 342 times by 57. So time for you to have a go at those. I'm going to have my cup of tea and chocky bicky, and then we'll meet up at the end and we'll see if we've got the same answers. Here we go then. For the first one, 500 times 40. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 1, 2, 3 extra zeros. And it's 3 extra zeros for the 40 and the 500, not 3 zeros in total. So it's actually got 4 zeros in total there. Watch out for that one. Here we've got 40 times 20. 4 times 2 is 8, plus a couple of extra zeros. And then 40 times 8. 4 8s are 32, and an extra 0. Okay? Next one. We've got 3 times everything. So 3 times 500, 3 times 5 is 15, plus 2 extra zeros. 3 times 20, 3 times 2 is 6, plus an extra 0, and then 3 times 8 is 24. And then I'm going to add along the rows just to make it easy. So we've got a 20,800 and a 320. Okay? So those two there, the 8 and the 3 make an 11. So that lot comes to 2, 1, 1, 2, 0. I think. Let's just check it here if you want to do it separately. 20,800, 320, 0, 2, 11 down and carry 1, 1 down there, 2. Yeah, 21,120. You can either add them up like that, or if they're easy, you can do them in your head. 1,500 plus another 60 plus a 24. Well, those two make an 84, so that's 1,584. And then when we add those two up, I'll put that equals up here, we get a 4. The 2 and the 8 make a 10. Walk down and carry 1. The 1 and the 5 make a 6, and that 1 makes 7. The 1 and the 1 makes 2, and a 2 up there. Okay, you can do that by formal column addition if you want to. So 22,704. I make that one. Down here, we've got the 5 times the 3 is a 15, plus 3 extra noughts. The 50 times the 40, 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 extra noughts. 50 times 2, I think we might know that one, that's 100. If you want to do it, it's 2 times 5 is 10, plus an extra nought. Here, we've got 3 times 7, which is 21, plus 2 extra noughts. 7 times 40, 7 fours are 28, plus 1 extra naught, and 2 sevens are 14. Okay, so there we've got a 15,000 plus a 2,000, that's 17,000, 17,100. Here we've got a 2,100 plus a 280, so that's a 2,380, 2,300, and then we've got that on as well, instead of 80, 94. So adding those up in the units, we've got a 4, in the tens we've got a 9, in the hundreds we've got 4 again, 7 and 2 is 9, and a 1 at the beginning, so 19,494. Well, I hope you got those. Those are quite hard ones. We're going on with lots of bits and bobs on here. Check out some of the later videos. We're going to be doing some more of these here. And if you reckon, we can even go on to doing the compact method, which is exactly the same maths as this, but a lot more sort of shrunken, and we don't draw the grids and things. So I'll see you for some later videos, Batty fans.
Mwahaha!